Don't tell anybody.
All right, check 1, 2. We are live. We're live, everybody. Hey, hello, hi. Don't worry, we'll sign autographs later.
Good morning.
Hey, Charlie.
Great. Charlie's here.
We are live here on the Packaging Podcast Extravaganza show.
Second annual
Second
edition.
annual. Feels pretty good. You know what's sad? It's a sad moment for me. I lost my wig.
I was going to ask you where that was.
I don't know where it went. There's not even a website to go order these things from. You can't just go.
Wigs.com didn't sponsor you like we
No.
talked about? Yeah.
Anyway,
Next time.
Sucker hat is pretty good.
I do like the Spec Right hat. And bald is beautiful. So we're here at the South Upper Hall, 7670 at the Spec Right booth, as you can see behind us with the lovely lighting. And I'm joined by Laura Foti. Laura is the newly appointed, freshly minted Chief Marketing Officer. Do I have this correct?
It's been a year.
It's been a year?
Almost a year.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Time flies.
Well, it's still new. It's still new in the grand cosmos of time. Yeah.
What is still relatively new is our podcast that we launched, Beyond the Shelf. We're at almost, I think we might have crossed 30,000 downloads.
Hey.
I think what excites me about what we're all doing is bringing new media to packaging.
Right.
Right? Like we all have different, I don't want to say angles, but interests when we talk to our guests. Like you have people of packaging, their careers, what they're doing. And Cory's got sustainability. Evelio's got the design.
Yep.
And I kind of love the intersection of products and packaging, and kind of what's innovations are happening going on in the future. And it's been so fun to just be at the show.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so much energy and just maturity.
Yeah.
Well,
Maturity of
we bring it down a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit, but
we keep it fun.
yeah.
Well, what have you guys noticed as kind of overall show trends?
I want to introduce Cory and Evelio. Can we do that?
Yeah, I'm
Is
sorry.
that?
Yeah.
And by the way, thanks for not telling me that we were going badgeless. I look over and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Nerd.
I know. Nerd alert.
Yeah, Cory.
Cory,
Yes.
who is a man who needs no introduction, the most famous
Yes.
face in packaging.
The host of Sustainable Packaging Podcast. And I think, and then Evelio Matos.
Yes, you got the Evelio Matos. Having you unboxed.
I like your word of mature, because what I'm seeing in the sustainability side is the things that were here last year or in Chicago at this show were just getting started, and now they're maturing, and it's really cool to see companies actually putting them into use and using these new sustainable items and having success with them and showing that sustainable packaging can be as strong and as good or even sometimes better than the old versions. So
I'm super excited for Sustainability Central. That's like a great area. Just sponsored by, it's brought to you by Fusio. And what was cool about it was that nobody in Sustainability Central paid to be there.
Yeah.
They were all handpicked, and then they had apple certification. They were reviewed. So you walk through there, nobody's paying, and nobody is pushing any type of greenwashing, because it has been certified and reviewed.
real stuff like scrap.
Yeah,
Yep.
scrap is down there.
Yep.
There's a lot of people.
It's
Yeah.
funny you say that, because I was talking to a few people who stopped by the booth, and I've heard of a new job function that I don't really associate with packaging.
Yeah.
They've been talking to their chief legal officers a
Yeah.
lot because of all these sustainability regulations.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I think, not only to your point, are we not seeing greenwashing on solutions, but companies are getting really serious about, we have to comply, we
Yeah.
have to pay fines or taxes. And so the importance of packaging data, which we talk a lot about, is really coming to the forefront. And when I talk about the maturity of solutions, when I started, this is going to be my fourth Pack Expo.
Wow.
My first Pack Expo, when I asked people, what's your biggest problem? It took about 10 questions to get to the spec. And I asked someone here, I'd never met them before, I said, what's your biggest problem? And they said, our spec data is all over the place. So the awareness of the problem, I think because of sustainability regulations, not only sustainability, things like allergen claims, other types of claims for whatever industry, modernization of cosmetics regulation act, there's just so much coming at packaging people today. And I think it's really elevating the role of organizations.
Yeah, I totally agree. I've mentioned this before, but it seems like more and more as we've been able to partner with SpecRite, the amount of people who almost are like almost embarrassingly like, yeah, actually, I don't know much about my packaging data. And I gave a talk last week at the Commerce Catalyst conference in Salt Lake, and I just asked, like, who has control of who controls your packaging data? And these are all brands, and it was almost exclusively, it was outsourced to a contract manufacturer, which was outsourced to a broker or distributor, which was outsourced to a vendor, and and it was like nobody knew. I'm like, what if you had to pay a tax on that tomorrow? Yeah. How would you go about getting it? They're like, I don't know. Which I think has been cool. I was just talking with a friend of mine, Joe Ratliff, who works for a competitor, Frankston Packaging. But Joe's awesome. We'll give him a little. But I was telling him about the SpecRite network, and I was like, listen, I don't want to make you guys great, but you should probably be great at this, because this network, I think, is going to honestly be pretty transformative in how brands and suppliers like Myers, like Aurora, like Evelio's, IDP Direct. Jeez, I'm so sorry.
Finally got it.
I got it. I nailed it this time. Normally Charlie cues me up, but it's always like, I'm Ron Burgundy.
Nice job.
He always, who put the question mark in the teleprompter? But like, we all work for suppliers, and I think that this has been a really cool maturation. Yep. Is that a word? That's the word, right? Of SpecRite, even to be able to start including the low life vendors like us into the network.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it's in our DNA.
Right.
Our founder, Matthew Wright, was a packaging supplier.
True.
And he realized it was bad for business for him to have specs that his customers didn't, because he'd make the wrong thing. No one was on the same page. So a little bit about SpecRite Network for those new to the conversation. It allows suppliers to digitize and share data and documents with their customers. And what's really fun for us is in the booth, I'll talk to someone who's a customer and they go, oh, I know Nancy, she's one of our suppliers, or she's one of our customers. So the need to share this information is very real. And there's no value in not doing that well, right?
Yeah.
There just isn't a value in sharing data inefficiently through email or spreadsheets. And what I think is going to be the big driver for a network is sustainability. Your suppliers will need to provide you this data to comply with taxes and regulations. So if you can share it digitally in a single source of truth and know that that data is accurate and verified and traceable, it's going to be a competitive advantage for packaging suppliers who start to get ahead of this.
Yes.
It'll be a value add for the brands they serve. I mean, you guys are on the other side of that industry. Do you have the same perspective on this?
Couldn't agree more. It's totally necessary. It's a huge spot in the supply chain that's just a hole. It's just not there yet. And you guys are filling that with an opportunity for all of us. It's very exciting.
I always like looking at both sides, right? So from I can see suppliers being concerned that they don't really hear sharing too much information, because that's the old way of thinking, right? The old model's like, I gotta hoard all my information. I can't share it because then I lose my juice. And it's like, no, like that's the point. It should be a two-way conversation, and you should be sharing information freely, so that we were just talking about this morning in terms of like, you can just be posting on LinkedIn as a company, you're like, oh my god, you're sharing too much.
Right.
And it's like, no, like you should be able to have that two-way conversation, see what the materials are, so that you should have that's obscured from the brand and the consumer decision makers throughout the process.
Exciting.
It's a good point, because whenever I was talking to a chief transformation officer at Heineken, and she's like, scope 3.
Name drop.
Everyone's talking about it.
Boom.
Stacey Pink's awesome. You should check her out on LinkedIn. She's doing a lot around integrating sustainability into the whole business model. It's fascinating.
She has a cooler title than all of us, by the way.
She's way cooler.
She's a transformer.
She's way cooler.
Yeah.
But, she was talking about scope 3, and that's the one I always hear people bring up, because it's your supplier's data.
Right.
Right? That's the data we're talking about. Like this, it's coming, the wave of needing to share it. It's just going to be, is this going to be a pain point for your business? And are you going to make it easier or more difficult for your customers to work with you?
Right.
So I think we're at an existential point where some companies will get ahead of it, like you guys are, and embrace it. And then other companies will resist. But no matter how you feel about it personally, the regulations are driving it. Right?
Well, and there's something to be said about the clarity and the transparency of the data. The regulations are going to drive it 100%. Also, I talk about this a lot, like, especially like I'm from the label industry, right? Which isn't as exciting, but I love it. Stickers
Nerd.
are cool.
Oh.
Hey,
Sorry. No,
see, I can hear you
I'm
just because we don't
kidding.
have headphones
I'm kidding.
on. Jeez. But I would always encourage our customers to help us qualify different specs, because we need to be able to go to our manufacturers and pull in from different places, drive price pressure down if we have to, kind of create competition that way. But if you're not flowing it back the other way with transparency, then you're actually doing your customers a disservice, because you're hoarding the data because you think you're going to make more money, and it's not true. The more transparent you are as a supplier, actually the more money you can make, the more profit you can make, because you can qualify different specs and you can go help them out
and actually build trust.
Yeah, exactly.
The other part of network that we really should talk about is what's in it for the supplier, right? Because it's like, yeah, it's making it easier for you to share data if you need to, but it's also this idea of expanding your catalog to customers. So like what I think about is in SpecRite, you can search for any spec. When people are on SpecRite Network, you could search for any spec across any supplier. So if I'm a customer of yours and we're buying this type of label today, but I need a different kind of label, I could search your specs.
Right.
And say, does this exist? And I could start to discover and come to you and say, hey, Adam, I saw you guys make this. I'd love to talk about it. And so it's that, visibility and connectivity of solutions, because you guys can't talk to every customer every day and tell them about every single new solution.
Right.
So how do you enable people to have more awareness of the things you're launching? What are you guys doing at Landsberger? The importance of new innovation and communicating that to customers.
Yeah, we have a bi-weekly announcement of new things that we're promoting and providing. But what if that could be all online and automatic and searchable? What a great idea.
Yeah. If you go to Google and you're looking for a product,
Google.com, google.com.
I've never heard of it.
Some solutions are looking for.
Yeah.
Why can't you do that for packaging?
Should.
Why only search within your company? You could search across your entire supply chain network, even maybe with people you're not doing business with yet.
Right.
Discovering new solutions. So it's all about accelerating innovation, and to your point, kind of collaboration across the value chain. But yeah, this is the exciting stuff.
And to Evelio's point about fear, I could see where there would be suppliers who would be like, well, if other people's customers can find me, that means my customers can find someone else. And to that, I would say, if your relationship and your supplier base, of course they can.
Right.
They already can. It's just hard because packaging, we're not great at marketing ourselves, which is what we're trying to do a little bit differently. But if you are afraid of that they're going to find a supplier on the SpecRite network, then Evelio's pretending to be a big deal.
Was that Charlie?
Just waving at random people. But if you're afraid of that, you're going to lose that customer anyways. That's what I would say.
I would also say to them, and some people can find you.
Exactly. It cuts both ways.
It cuts both ways, and I've never met a company that's like, I'd like to spend more money to acquire customers.
Right.
Not one. That's the biggest challenge. And the other thing too, which we should talk about, is labor shortages. I cannot stop hearing about how no matter how high they're raising interest rates, unemployment is still at an all-time low. Companies, especially in our industry, are struggling to find the next generation of people. And
Very
so
true.
We can't continue to throw armies. We have to think about selling differently and
right.
selling smarter. You guys are so close to this. Are you experiencing this talent shortage?
Yeah, there's, from a sales perspective, I think you always have to be, whether or not there's an abundance of salespeople or not, right? The more efficient you can do a job, the better off you're going to be as a company. And so I think there are still, because of consolidations that have happened, there are still some pretty talented salespeople who are out there. And certainly you can come work at Myers if you'd like to. But when you can mix talent, like, I know Evelio loves basketball, so you love it. But I often think about Michael Jordan, right? Like, what's that?
Yeah.
The cleats in basketball, yeah. When they score the field goal units, it's his favorite moment. When they won the super champions.
Yes.
But I think about someone like Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant who had talent, but they worked efficiently and correctly, and that's how they became great. So equipping good salespeople with efficient and great tools that they then embrace can only help them get better, and can help people who maybe aren't as like naturally gifted, whatever that means in sales.
Yep.
It can help them grow in their careers as well. So I think it's a win-win anytime you can drive efficiency there. I also want to give a shout out to Laura Sams,
Yes.
who is holding it down behind the camera while waves of people are walking by, and they're trying to get access over here, and she's just like, no. Yeah, it was weird. Yeah.
That's a good segue because we just launched a brand video today that Laura was
I know.
Nice job, Laura.
The video is called Spec Right versus Spec Wrong. And it's all about illustrating the problem of a lack of specification management, right? Because what we typically find is if you're listening, you're like, yeah, this is a pain point, but how do I tell my boss that this is important? How do I illustrate the before and the after of doing this? And it follows a fictional company called Margarita Manufacturing, and they're trying to bring a triple-decker pizza to market.
Sounds great.
It's got to go fast.
It's a great
it's got to be
video.
fast. It's got to be sustainable.
Yep.
And Blake, the new head of operations, goes and starts to work with the packaging person, the procurement person, and the supply chain person to make this happen, and discovers that disconnected data and disconnected systems are holding them back. And then moving to Spec Right, you see them go from operating in silos to being on the same page, having data in a single source of truth, and how at the end, I don't want to give it away, you'll have to watch the video, we'll drop it in the links, but they come together as a team to make it happen.
Right.
And I think that's so important of showing people there's a better way, not just telling them. And so
Right.
I also, when you guys got a sneak peek of it, did it resonate with you?
First of all, that's my last name, and I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't use it so flippantly. Okay? Because you have to ask me these things, all right? I'm not just like, I need a massage on my foties. I don't just say that out loud, all right? Yeah, it was awesome. I love the creativity behind it. The personas behind it, I think we can all resonate with, having worked with before.
Do you know some of those people?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Common frustration in most companies we work with is
Wait,
where's the spec?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. My favorite part though is I think it was the actress who played the packaging, Barb, actually worked in the packaging industry, which is amazing. It's from the Lord above that happened.
We did like this. We had, I think, 500 people apply to be cast in this. It's like a movie level
I love
production. And we watched this woman and we're like, oh my gosh, she nailed it.
Yeah.
Like she nailed it. And then we find out the day there, she's like, yeah, I work at a packaging company. We're like, no wonder. We're like, no wonder you get this. You have lived this. And that was just really special to have, someone in the industry kind of be a part of it, even though we didn't expect it. There's people acting who act on the side. Like that. Maybe a second career.
Yes.
Podcaster, actor.
I have been in 2 movies.
Really?
No big deal.
Yes.
Wait. Do tell.
I was an extra in Men of Honor and Kindergarten Cop.
Two very different movies.
That's the same story. Same story.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah, watch them both.
We're gonna have someone find the stills.
Yeah.
And drop that in.
He's seen it. Yeah.
I'll watch it. Taking pictures.
He sent me a picture. Yeah.
That is perfect.
So
he's not aged.
We're ready.
Next movie we do.
I'm in.
I know a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I love
I'll
it.
be in the background making faces. Yeah.
Well, this has been great. I know we've got a couple things happening later this afternoon. I'm wondering how well this is actually streaming, because the internet's a little like meh. So apologies if you're trying to watch this and we sound robotic again, but we're doing our best. We'll make sure to post we're recording the actual live video. But the 3 of us, along with Jay Quinn and Brent from Fusenio, we're going to be on at 2:00 Pacific time, Sustainability Central, North Hall, talking about rad stuff that we see here at the show. So that's going to be really great. And then I know the incomparable Matthew Wright has 2 sessions, right? Dos sesiones. Did I nail it?
That was Italian.
One is about which I think would be really interesting to everyone. It's all about how to prepare for things like generative AI. And his whole point is like, okay, if you need to train a model, you have to have a data set to train it on. And so the importance of data and how that's going to lead to unlocking AI, right? And then his second one is about how to bridge the gap of workforce challenges using technology. So those sessions, once today, once tomorrow, they'll both be, streamable after the show as well if you can't get it live. And yeah, he even has a few copies of his book. If you have read the Evolution Products and Packaging, we had a few people come by and ask for a hard copy because they had listened to the audiobook.
Oh, I love that.
We have more of those, and I even make Matthew sign them. So
I'll have my kids sign the books,
and
actually.
your book is here.
It is, yeah. I have I think 15 more copies. I know.
And the best swag in the show here.
Oh, yeah.
Well done.
I don't have any.
Oh, yeah. Well, we got the hat.
We got the hat here.
Hats.
Oh, do you want to hear a fun story?
I do. Tell me.
So we always
Tell
try
us.
to do good swag, things that people will actually use. Because I'm like, if it's not sustainable, people throw it away.
Right.
So we always do the hats, and I said, Matthew, I'm still on the younger side of things. I said, everyone's wearing these crossbody mats.
Yep.
Yeah.
We should do this. And he's like, I don't see anyone wearing these. And I'm like,
None of my friends have those. Yeah.
he's like, no, none of my friends are wearing these. I'm like, trust me. So we ordered a limited quantity, and they're like flying off the
Oh,
shelf.
yeah.
It's super cool. You wear it. You can wear it as a fanny pack. You can wear it across your chest. Put your phone in here. It's great for like concerts. And yeah, it's great for the show.
Perfect.
I actually took one because I didn't bring a purse.
Oh.
So stop by.
Yep.
Yeah.
Grab crossbody / fanny pack.
Love it.
Grab trucker hat. But yeah, loves. And then we're on the lanyards this year too, which I'm super excited
Oh,
about.
yeah.
Yes.
Thanks to PMI for allowing us the opportunity to sponsor that. But
Can
we're
we-
really
maybe?
excited about this show. Again, stop by, visit us. We're getting live demos, a lot around sustainability, year-over-year reporting, doing LCs really fast. But yeah, thanks so much, guys, for
Thank you, Laura.
taking the time.
The second annual podcast extravaganza.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes. See you
Wow.
next year.
Dose annual. All right. Well, everyone, check out, if you're here at the show, come check out SpecRite, South Upper 7670. If you're watching this on recording, we've got with Evelio Matos.
Sustainable packaging with Cory Connors.
All right.
beyond the shelf before we're voting.
And sustainable packaging with Cory Connors. Dang it. I blew it again. Charlie with the
Charlie, rewind
teleprompter.
that.
People Packaging Podcast with Adam Peak. Thanks everyone for tuning in and watching. Come say what's up with the show. We'd love to say hi and yeah, kissing babies, the whole thing. Awesome. He's like, no, I don't want an autograph. See you everyone.
Bye, guys.